Bismillah. Yes, from last time, we stopped with the meaning when we have a word with two meanings, and then I think we finished with that. Do you have anything? Did you hear anything? Did you discuss it with anybody, and you want to say anything or about last time?
Words with two meaning.
Yeah.
There was one word we were talking about. I think you already touched.
Yeah.
Mansukh. And
well, I told you that I don't have a definite answer for that.
Okay.
I just take the word where there is a word with two meanings. I will have to take it that way.
Okay.
And sometime in that case there, I'm not 100% sure I will be right, but I'm taking the safe approach until I see if I see anything from the discussions or the debates that has been going on all these centuries between those who agree and who disagree. It's those who say we take the word with one meaning. They have no proof at all. They didn't bring enough proof.
Okay.
They just question of, this word means this here, because this word means this here, so I will take it that way. Doesn't mean. And if lama massa, we have nobody argue of the fact that mass can mean this and can mean this. If we find an ayah that says it means this, just one meaning, doesn't mean that we have to go to whole Quran and say here it all mean. Understand? That is Arabic language. What do you say when the Prophet say tawadda'u min masat an-nar, do wudu from what the fire has touched? Married the fire. You understand?
Yeah.
The fact that Maryam said lam yamsasni bashar, that will not mean that every time now we come across this word we have to say that this is the only meaning. Yes, we understand. Sometimes one place, one word can't have more than one meaning. A word that has two meanings, sometimes you can't just have to say here it doesn't mean that. It only one meaning. إذا نكحتم المؤمنات ثم طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن. If you marry the believers, if you do nikah with the believers, woman, and then you divorce them before you touch them, does it mean here nikah is touching? No, here definitely doesn't mean touching because it says before you touch them. So here nikah means only marriage. Yeah? You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
And then the word here before you touch them, what does it mean? Does it mean for relation? I will tell you that meaning, say if a man closes the door behind him with his wife, if he marries a woman, if you go to the fiqh, they will not say mas here is relation, sexual relation, because they say if he closes the door, so here you are giving it a different meaning altogether. So that means I will tell you, okay, you have to take this meaning all the way. Then every time you find it, you have to. Now, if someone says lamastum with the ayah, because the ayah in the Quran has been revealed in different narrations. 7 different narrations. Now, we have to take all of them. Now, the most famous one that we read, lamastum. It says lamastum, touch each other. Someone comes here and say this, we say, okay, But there is another narration that say lamastum. You understand? So here, that's why I'm saying it's a bit needs more careful looking. You never know. Maybe the answer is in the same ayah, not somewhere else, and nobody has sat down to look at it properly. But I told you, I don't make definite. I don't myself, for myself, I don't say there is. What I'm saying is the right thing. But what I'm saying is that is I take the safe way until I find something that can't be. When I find that I have a strong argument and I think nobody can come with something to refute it, then I will say, oh, this is the right thing, and anybody who says the opposite is wrong.
You know how much you told me that you said, Waid, he said there's two narrations you must have brought up to him before, two hadiths that bring this word Waid, and you didn't bring it up in our conversations. I was wondering what these two hadiths, because he didn't say it, and I didn't get it from you.
Well, I didn't discuss it fully, but it's not the time for that now. Anyway,
so we said we'll go over Naskh and Mansukh.
Yes. Okay. So normally, since we are in the Quran still and Sunnah, which are the two and only two sources of Quran, the other groups of Muslim say there are two major sources of Quran. We say they are the only two sources of Quran of religion, Sharia. They say there are two major sources of Sharia, beside others like Ijma' and Qiyas and stuff, which we deny. So since we are still in Quran and Sunnah, there are one thing that comes under this, which is the abrogation. Abrogation, Naskh and Mansukh. The abrogation has two meanings. One meaning is cancellation, and the other meaning is copying. The ayah says, مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَةٍ أَوْ نُنْسِهَا. We don't abrogate an ayah or made it to be forgotten. This here means cancellation. Then there is ayah in Quran says, إِنَّا كُنَّا نَسْتَنْسِخُ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. We used to write what you used to do. Istinsakh is to see something, for example, and write it down, or copy it from somewhere else. No, or writing something that, like copying. If I am writing something, I see someone moving and doing something, and I'm writing it down. So I'm copying there on the paper. So this is the meaning of abrogation. Now, the Muslims, or probably every religion, all the religions accept abrogations, except for a group of Jewish people who deny it. So, and the Muslims, almost all the Muslims agrees that there is abrogation in the religion. That our religion has abrogated other religions, and within the religion there is abrogation. This is almost agreed between Muslims, except what some say that Abu Muslim Isfahani did refuse. Never agreed that there is abrogation. That is wrong. What he said is something different. They misunderstood him. So all Muslims agree that there is abrogation in religion, but within the religion, that Allah make orders and then change them later, cancel them later, or change them with something else. Now, in abrogation, there are things that we have to understand. We have abrogation in religion, yes, but there are things that can never be abrogated in religion. one of the things that all the Muslims probably agree, we don't know anyone who has said something different, that, for example, the Allah attributes can't be abrogated. It's not possible that Allah will say today he is Sami'un Basir, or he goes down every night or whatever, and then later he will say he doesn't. That's not possible. That shouldn't be abrogated. I'm not going to do very in details, because everything that you take, you have to take it into what we say step by step, because if I go into details you won't understand probably nothing, but I will go into details as much as possible. Sometime I will say this is agreed on, but the truth is it's not really agreed on. It just, in principle, in general, it's agreed on. But if I try to go into the details, you may get lost. So, they agree that on asl of Tawheed, the core of Tawheed, there is no abrogation. What they don't say, but we should believe it that way, that the Tawheed, the religion, the core of the religion, can't be abrogated. Meaning that the Tawheed, that the thing that Allah will, we know that the day of judgment, the least of the believer, the one who came with La ilaha illallah, will get out of hellfire. That is something that can't be abrogated. I mean, the thing that Allah will not forgive someone in this ummah for doing, because Allah doesn't forgive shirk. Only shirk Allah doesn't forgive. He forgives anything. Yeah? That can't be abrogated. We can't say that differs from nation to nation. It must be the same. For the hadith of the Prophet where he said that نحن معشر الأنبياء ديننا واحد. We, the prophets, our religion is one. والشرائع مختلفة. أولاد علات. We are the children of different mothers to one father. So the core of the religion, the Tawheed, is one. The Sharia is different from one prophet to another, but the Tawheed is one. If someone tells me, if someone says the one who doesn't pray our prayer is a kafir, we say no, he is not, because that prayer is not the prayer that prayer the other prophets didn't pray it. If someone says, okay, what about people at time of Nuh and at time of Adam? Probably they never heard about Muhammad. And if someone doesn't believe in Muhammad, he's a kafir. Or some people at the time of, we will say that everybody must believe in the prophets of Allah, whether he knows their names or not. If we reject any prophet that we don't know of, then we will not be a Muslim. And the same thing, if a man at the time of Nuh, he was told that there will be a prophet and he never believed, he rejected him, he will be a kafir. Same thing with us. So we have, in general, we have to, and when you say this, okay, in our nation, if someone doesn't believe alcohol is haram, is kafir. In other nations, people used to drink alcohol, it was halal for them. Yes, that's true. In our religion, if someone doesn't know the alcohol is haram, he still is not kafir. Person is not kafir for not knowing that alcohol is haram. He is kafir for denying what Allah, or changing the law of Allah. And the same thing with the previous nations.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
The law issue, because it's a real sore point, and I want you to clear it up for me, inshallah. A lot of people, you know which ones I'm talking about, say that the reason why someone becomes a kafir, the reason why somebody is a kafir when it comes to salah, because of those hadiths, which I'm not familiar
but
with.
there is no any hadith clear that someone if leaves the prayer is kafir. There is hadith.
Can you tell us?
العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة. The difference between us and them is the prayer. فمن تركها فقد كفر. Whoever leaves it, فقد كفر. And then you find hadith sahih. The Prophet said, من ادعى لغير أبيه وهو يعلم أنه غير أبيه فقد كفر. Whoever calls himself to other than his father, and he knows that he is not father, then he has committed kufr, the way that he said it about the prayer. Or any slave that ran away from his masters, he has committed kufr. Don't become kuffar, hitting the necks of each other. Well, this is all kufr, which is the kufr, the small kufr, not the big kufr, not the kufr that takes you away from religion. Yeah, and they agree in other hadith, the one who calls himself to other than his father, they agree that he is not kafir. So the prayer is the same. And the prayer has two different meanings. Where you find the prayer as whoever lives, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Quran, قُلْ مَا يَعْبَأُ بِكُمْ رَبِّي لَوْلَا دُعَاؤُكُمْ. Prayer is وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ. Now prayer meaning, the real meaning in prayer is dua, invocation. And there is the prayer of meaning, the Sharia prayer is to pray 5 times a day, or stand up, bow, prostrate. And here we have to take it that way, because for I told you the core Tawheed, the shirk, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَنْ يُشْرَكَ بِهِ. Allah doesn't forgive that someone that associates have been taken beside him, worshipped beside him. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. And prayer is not Tawheed, it's beside Tawheed. حتى يقول لا إله إلا الله ويقيم الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة. So إقامة الصلاة, praying, is other than لا إله إلا الله. It's something extra.
As I said, I have not been ordered to fight the people. Another one that they'll come with is I have not been ordered to fight the people until they say
لا إله إلا الله.
Establish the
prayer and give the zakah, and then you ask them, do you believe that zakah, the one who leaves zakah doesn't give zakah, is a kafir?
Who doesn't give
zakah, pay his zakat, because the hadith say
sinful then,
yeah.
So then you don't say the same for the one who does.
Okay, it's the same, the salah, they are mentioned together. Okay, anyway, there is no any hadith clear that make tariq salah, the one who leaves prayer, as kafir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُزَكِّيهِمْ تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. Take from their wealth sadaqah, to cleanse them with it. وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ, and then pray over them. Does it mean he pray takbir, ruku', sujud? No, salah here. It's in Quran, salli. But Allah, the Prophet, what did he do when he takes zakat from people? He will say, "Oh Allah, Allahumma salli ala ali Abi Awfa." So this is the salah. And then when the Prophet said, if someone is invited, he should answer. If he is fasting, he should pray. And then you ask them, does it mean he has to pray? He will say no. It's enough for him to say, to make dua for the person. So this is here salat as well. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ إِدْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Your Lord said, call me, I will answer you. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي. Those who take pride of worshipping me, سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. They will go into hellfire. So that is the salah. That is, no one is allowed to leave. If someone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in Quran, قُلْ مَا يَعْبَأُ بِكُمْ رَبِّي لَوْلَا دُعَاءُكُمْ. Allah will not care about you if it wasn't for your dua. Aisha asked the Prophet, Abdullah ibn Jad'an. Abdullah ibn Jad'an is her cousin, not first cousin, but cousin of Abu Bakr. He was very wealthy in Jahiliyyah. They say that he found a treasure. They don't know where he got his money from. He had what we call like a plate. I don't know what we call it. A big plate. The Prophet used to sleep under the shadow of that plate. It was like a plate where hundreds of people will turn around. And he will slaughter every day a camel for the poor. People will, for free in Mecca forever. As long as he was alive, he was doing that. And she asked the Prophet that he used to help the poor, the orphans, honor the guest, help the needy. Will this help him at all? Prophet said no. He never said, "Oh Allah, forgive me the day of judgment." So he never needed Allah. He doesn't need Allah. He never asked Allah, or made dua for Allah. Allah doesn't need him.
So you're saying if there's a person who calls himself a Muslim and he doesn't make dua, he doesn't make salah, yeah, he doesn't think of Allah consciously.
Yeah, he doesn't need him. He doesn't need him. He is kafir.
Okay. Wow. That's good point.
So this is the salah, that is was common between all the prophets. No matter how they did their prayer, within their prayer, this is they used to ask Allah. This is what is prayer. Because within the prayer you ask Allah. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. So you are asking Allah in prayer. And all the prophets used to ask Allah in their prayers. So this is the prayer that if anyone leave, he is definitely a kafir. And this is the part of this prayer, which is part of our prayer now, the way we do it as Muslims, is the common prayer between all the prophets. When they pray, they ask Allah. Even if someone asks Allah and asks, "Oh Allah, I need dunya. Give me dunya. I don't care about akhirah. I don't need it." This person is kafir. This person, the day of judgment, will be in hell forever. Because he didn't ask for it, Allah will not give it to him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Quran, فَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا أَتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا. When in Hajj, he said, some people will say, "Oh Allah, give us in this life. وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَقٍ." In the hereafter, he has no share. So the salah is to ask Allah, to pray for Allah, to ask Allah for the hereafter. So this is the go back. This is a prayer. So this Tawheed can't be abrogated, can't be changed from nation to nation, or even within our Sharia can't be changed. The first day the Prophet came as Prophet, what did he ask people to say? La ilaha illallah. The thing that they understood, you see, when someone has heard the Prophet saying, "Say La ilaha illallah," and someone said it, he say La ilaha illallah and came back. Anything that person could have done or not done, and it wouldn't have made him a kafir, will not make us today kafir if we do it or don't do it. You see that person there. If after the Prophet said, say La ilaha illallah, he said La ilaha illallah. And afterwards, he went, tried to find someone, let's go and finish this religion. He said it from his heart, and he believed him. But he went from there, trying to find someone with all his heart, not trying to play but he wanted someone, let's finish this before it grows up. That person will be a Muslim? That person will be a kafir. Same thing if he does today. If that person said, yeah, I believe you with all my heart, and started mocking, he knows that he trusts him that you are saying the truth, and started laughing at Allah, making mockery of Allah or the Prophet. Will he be a Muslim? He won't be a Muslim. If the Prophet said anything else there, and he rejected it, he said, yeah, I believe you, you are the Prophet Allah, and said anything, and then said, but this I won't accept. Will he be a Muslim? He won't be a Muslim. That are the things that will not make someone today Muslim. Anything that was delayed, Tawheed doesn't come in like part. You get it straight away. Then you understand that word La ilaha illallah. That is Tawheed. It won't increase, it won't decrease. Anything else will be extra Sharia. So that will not be abrogated ever. The Tawheed can't be abrogated. We say that the merits, the attributes of Allah can't be abrogated.
What if somebody says they can be abrogated for a millisecond? 1 second they could be abrogated. Meaning, I'll tell you what. For example, let's say Isa alayhi salam was the prophet, and then Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam suddenly becomes a prophet. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam abrogated Isa, everything, including Tawheed, and then made it Tawheed in 1 second.
What are you saying?
Because
I say Tawheed can't be abrogated. Tawheed, whether there is prophet, whether there is no prophet, that is the same Tawheed. That is what Allah will ask people, the day of judgment. Anybody who come without Tawheed, whether he had a prophet or he didn't, he will be a kafir. The fact he will be forgiven or not, that is different story. But anyone who didn't believe in La ilaha illallah at any point of life since Allah created the world until today, any human being who doesn't believe in La ilaha illallah, or jinn, or an angel, well, the angels will all believe anyway, so that person will be, that jinn or human being is a kafir. Tawheed can't be abrogated. This is what Allah created the human and the jinn for. It is His mercy that He has sent people to remind them, but He has taken when He has taken from them the covenant, He took the covenant from them in their back of the Adam. He didn't say that He divided them into groups or into religions and gave everyone. He told them one thing: Alastu bi rabbikum. He asked them the same question, the same Tawheed. He didn't go into details with them. So that is what He is going to ask them the day of judgment, whether the matter a prophet or not. That was actually enough
to hear of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say that maybe you're asking something.
Okay. Now, another thing that can't be abrogated is the Akhbar, what means the news, information. When Allah says this happened some time ago, it happened. Allah sent Nuh to his people. It's impossible that later it will be, an ayah will come and say Allah never sent Nuh, because that will be a lie, and Allah is the most truthful. Some people said that there may be some abrogation in this, but they don't understand what's the meaning of abrogation. They say, for example, Allah will say, oh, I have sent Nuh stayed with his people for 1,000 years. And then another place he will say, it's 50 years less than 1,000, 950. So at the beginning he meant just approximately 1,000. That is wrong. Allah never said that. And because they couldn't find any real example, they came with this story. Because if Allah say approximately 1,000, it's possible that later he will say, and that there will be no difference between this and this. But to say 1,000 and say now actually it's 950, that is impossible. Because 950 is approximately 1,000, but it's not 1,000. But this is useless because we don't have it in Quran. And this is not abrogation. It's not like he said it and then he abrogated it. No, that is explanation. Almost 1,000, and then later it's explain how much is this almost. So that is not abrogation. It's not called abrogation. The other thing that there is a bit of difference about it, whether it can be abrogated or not, is promises for the future. So Waid, we say promise. And in the Arabic word, in Arabic language, promise, if you promise someone to reward him, we call that Waid. If you promise someone to punish him, we say that Waid. So some of them said Waid, the majority said Waid can't be abrogated. But many say Waid can be abrogated. And then when they mention it sometime in the book of Usul al-Fiqh, they will say, Shafi'i said, if someone doesn't carry out his promise, that is not a lie. That is just not keeping your promise. Not keeping your promise is a bad thing. So they try to say it's possible that Allah doesn't keep his promise. That is a very, very big mistake to say. And same thing with those who say, they say, not the majority then say, no, that can't be done with good promises or with rewards, for example. That is not possible. But not to carry out a promise to punish someone, that is a good thing to do. They say, if someone say, I'm going to punish this person, and then later he doesn't want to punish him, he just forgive him, this is a good thing. You understand? So they say that is not impossible for Allah, because we believe it to be a good thing. That is impossible for Allah. Why? Now for to Allah to promise or to promise reward or punishment to someone and don't carry it later, why it's not possible for Allah? Because we will say, did he know at the time when he made the promise that he will not carry out the promise later? If that is what you believe, you are saying this is a lie. And a'udhu billah, nobody can say that. Or do you say that at the time when he made the promise, he didn't know, he was going to, then he changed his mind later? And this is another a big problem. So either way, it's a problem. A human being might be good for a human being when he said, I am going to punish you. He was sincere, he didn't lie. And then later on he changed his mind. Human being, he can. It's good not to do that sometimes. Or maybe that was his only way. He doesn't have solutions. A bad person, he had to lie to threaten him. But Allah has solutions. He is the creator of the solutions. So there is no way to force him to lie. So that is not possible. There is under no circumstance Allah will make a promise or promise to punish someone or to reward him and then later not carry that promise. It will happen if he says it. So that is another thing. It's not possible if Allah say this will happen, that the kafirs will stay in hellfire forever. That means they will stay in hellfire forever. If he say the believers will stay in Jannah forever, that means they will stay in Jannah forever. There is no way that this can be abrogated. Yes.
Some people like Ibn Taymiyyah.
Yeah, I know what Ibn Taymiyyah said. Is it important for us to know? No. He leans towards this, that the kafirs, that not carrying out, not fulfilling your promise for punishing someone is a good thing to do. That's what he believes. That is a mistake. All people do mistakes, and we are not really concerned unless it's important for us to know to know who has said it, or because he is not the only person. Many people say it. Yeah. Yes. Not the majority, but many. So another thing here is that sometime the Prophet will say something, and he will make an order or forbid something, and he will say this to the day of judgment, or forever. It won't, like the Prophet, the day of Eid, someone said, I have a jada'a. Jada'a is an animal which is in sheep. Jada'a in sheep means a sheep which is between 1 and 2 years old, and it is not allowed to be sacrificed or used in anything obligation in Sharia. Now the man said, I have jada'a. He has nothing else. The Prophet said, sacrifice it, but it won't be enough for anybody after you. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Now when we find the hadith in Muslim, which is weak anyway, that the Prophet says, ضحوا بمسنة, sacrifice an old sheep, unless you can't find it, then you do sacrifice with jada'a. We are not going to bother looking. This hadith is weak, but if it was sahih, which is in Muslim as well, but if it was sahih, we are not going to bother to look, which one is first, this or this, because this hadith is abrogated if it was sahih. The hadith where the Prophet told this man that jada'a will not be enough for anyone after you, that means finish. This can't be abrogated. Or the hadith of the Prophet Al-Rabi' ibn Sabra, the hadith in Muslim where the Prophet spoke about the woman, about the marriage of mut'a, temporary marriage, and he said it's forbidden to the day of judgment. This we are not going to bother to look, was this before he forbid it the first time or the second time or the third time? This, after this, it won't be allowed to the Day of Judgment. This can't be abrogated. If it's abrogated, the Prophet here would have said the lie.
Where's that hadith?
In Muslim.
Muslim, okay. What book then?
The marriage book, of course.
Marriage book, okay.
Yeah. So, this hadith can't be abrogated. No matter how many hadith we find, because this hadith said it will be haram to the Day of Judgment. Any hadith that abrogates this will make this hadith a lie, and it will make it not the hadith of the Prophet, because the hadith of the Prophet are truth. But this hadith is confirmed to be the hadith of the Prophet. So it has to be, this action must be forbidden to the Day of Judgment. Okay. Now, yes, I think this is the things that before we talk about Naskh and Mansukh, these things I said can't be abrogated.
Is it worth it all in this context bringing in Shah, or should that be left to another time?
The things that can be abrogated is the orders of the Prophet. The orders of the Prophet is when he say do or don't do. When Allah say do this or don't do this. He will make these orders knowing, Allah will make these orders knowing that He will abrogate them later. The Prophet might not know. Yeah. Definitely, many places the Prophet will make orders not knowing that this will be abrogated later, until Allah inform him. But Allah always, when He makes these orders, He knows already that these orders will be abrogated later. Just orders, do this or don't do this. These can be abrogated. Nothing else. And then there is other things that comes now under the abrogation. There are different opinions. It is agreed that Quran abrogates Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Quran, مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَةٍ أَوْ نُنْسِهَا نَأْتِ بِخَيْرٍ مِنْهَا أَوْ مِثْلِهَا. We don't abrogate an ayah or make it to be forgotten, except that we will come with another ayah which is better. Or similar. Here, the majority say Quran can be abrogated with Quran. This ayah is clear in this. Quran can be abrogated with Quran, because Quran, any ayah that comes to abrogate an ayah, it will be similar or better than the ayah that has been abrogated. Before probably to go this, there is another thing that can be abrogated. When we find something in Quran, a reward that Allah give us for doing something, like Allah say He will reward us such and such thing for doing for doing something. You pray, you say after wudu, ad-du'a, the 8 doors of Jannah will be open for you. If you wake up at night, Allah will give you, and you mention Allah, make small dua, Allah will give you such and such reward. These things can be abrogated. Cannot be abrogated. Why? It may be that the action can be abrogated, that you don't have to do that thing anymore, but the reward can't be abrogated. It's possible that you don't have to do the action, but you will get the reward anyway. We don't say that it's not impossible, even though I can't think of anything like that. But to say that these orders will be abrogated with the reward, that means you can't have this reward anymore. That's not possible, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, ذلك بأن الله لم يكن مغيرا نعمة أنعمها على قوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. That is because Allah will not change a bounty that He has bestowed on people until they change what they have in their heart. That Allah will not remove this bounty until they change what they have in their hearts. And that is because the Prophet didn't change, but the Prophet was the last Prophet and he died when Allah was pleased with him. And the same thing did the Sahaba. Then that is definitely has not been abrogated. There is nothing that the Prophet said Allah will reward you for such and such thing, and then it will be abrogated. And since it has not been abrogated at his time, it is not possible that it will be abrogated after him, because the religion was complete. Now, when we said the abrogation, now we said Quran being abrogated by Quran. This is something that everybody agrees with, that Quran can be abrogated with Quran. That is the ayah, that's what the ayah says.
So there could be a verse that's in the Quran.
We are not going to that yet.
Right. Okay.
So, the Quran being abrogated by Quran. Quran being abrogated by Sunnah. The majority said yes, it's possible. That is the majority, except for, of which we know, is Shafi'i, and some people who don't have a name, followers of Shafi'i, who follow him just like that. But the majority of the followers of Shafi'i deny this. They try to find excuse for Shafi'i to say people misunderstood him. When Allah say, his argument here is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَةٍ, we don't abrogate an ayah except that we bring something better or similar. He said Sunnah can never be similar or better than Quran. And he is right. When we take Quran itself, we can't say, oh, Quran and Sunnah are similar. Yes, in the hukm they are similar. But even Quran, there is Quran better than Quran. Is it? There is Quran. The Prophet asked Ubay ibn Ka'b, which ayah that you know is better in the book of Allah? He said, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. He said, congratulations to your knowledge. So even Quran, there is surah, ayah, a'zam from another. Quran is definitely a'zam. The wording of Allah.
Having the darts go away, don't come in here.
The wording of Allah are better than the wording that the Prophet. This is definitely something that can't be argued. So the Quran can't be abrogated except by Quran. And then the Sunnah. Do we have Sunnah abrogated by Sunnah? Yes, we have Sunnah abrogated by Sunnah. It's clear from the hadith of the Prophet, I have forbidden you from visiting the graveyards. Now visit the graveyards. Sunnah abrogated by Quran. Many people bring examples which are not clear. Some people say the Prophet used to pray towards to Jerusalem, and then Allah abrogated it. Quran abrogated it. That is not clear. We don't know why, how the Prophet started praying to Jerusalem. Was it because it was revealed to him without in Quran, or in something else? Maybe it was Quran, because there was a lot of Quran that has been abrogated. So we don't know how he started praying towards Jerusalem at the beginning. Or some people will say Allah has forbidden. In Quran Allah has said, وَإِن فَاتَكُم مِّنْ أَزْوَاجِكُم شَيْءٌ إِلَى الْكُفَّارِ إِذَا جَاءَكُمُ الْمُؤْمِنَاتُ مُهَاجِرَاتٍ فَامْتَحِنُوهُنَّ. If the woman believer come to you, immigrating to you, then test them. This was after the Prophet made a covenant with the Kafirs that anyone who comes to him, he will send him back, or him or her back. This is the Prophet doing this. So they say this is a Sunnah. It has been abrogated by Quran. That is an action of the Prophet carrying out an agreement with the Kafirs. The Quran before that was full with أوفوا بالعقود, fulfill your agreements. So he was just doing an agreement that Allah has not forbidden him from doing. Later on Allah ordered him. So we can't say this has been a Sunnah abrogated by Quran. It's not clear. And we don't have they don't have from the examples they bring anything clear to show that Sunnah has been abrogated by Quran.
So we're saying because we have a clear ayat saying Quran can abrogate Quran, we don't have a clear ayat or hadith saying that the Quran can abrogate the Sunnah. They have to establish evidence to show clearly.
Yes, but Quran, that Sunnah has been abrogated by. Yes, so these are the things here. Now, there is another thing when it comes to abrogation. Some people will say, when it comes to abrogation, there are other things here. Quran. Now, some people say that Quran, when we say Quran abrogated, some people say, okay, Quran abrogated are different types. Quran which is abrogated by words. The words are abrogated. The words abrogated. And the hukm abrogated. The wording abrogated. And the hukm is abrogated. Meaning, it's not in the Quran anymore. It's not in the book anymore. That is true. Nobody can deny that. Allah said it in the Quran that He will abrogate some verses. And we have examples where the Sahaba will say, this ayah, we used to read such and such ayah, and it has been cancelled. In Bukhari, for example, we have Hadith of Anas, where he say that the Prophet have sent some people to teach other people religion, and then they were caught, and then killed, and in an ambush. And then Allah revealed this ayah, which it was ayah of Quran. بلغوا قومنا, convey this message to our people, that we have met our Lord and we have been pleased with Him, He has been pleased with us. This was Quran, they used to read it. It has been cancelled. It's not Quran anymore. So this is one example of this. Or Aisha saying there was an ayah that has been we used to read 10 sucking for a baby suckling from his mother, that only 10 will make the baby forbidden for the woman from where he suckles from. So that is 10 times, and that has been abrogated. Now the first ayah is something that now they say an ayah that has been abrogated totally. The wording is not there anymore, and the hukm is not there anymore. That is an example. 10 suckling. We don't do that anymore. It's not necessary that the baby suckles from his mother 10 times. And the ayah, we don't read it anymore. It's not in our Quran. So that is something that we agree with, because it is proven. The other thing is that they say is an ayah which is in the Quran, which is not in the Quran. Yeah? Abrogated. The wording has been abrogated. By the hukm, is still withheld. We still work on that ayah.
So we should read it.
Yes. And they bring many examples. All of them can be discussed. All of them are not clear. We say the wording is not in the Quran anymore, but we still have to act on it. Now,
you know when you said the one about the people that were ambushed, you said that they were saying they were people of Allah. Where can we find this specific one?
Maghazi, Bukhari, Maghazi.
Maghazi, what's Maghazi mean?
Maghazi means the battles of the Prophet.
Okay, Maghazi, okay.
Bi'r Ma'una, the thing of Bi'r Ma'una, it looks for Bi'r Ma'una place where this happened. It comes under that title.
Okay.
The Well of Ma'una. Okay, so some of the Ahnaf don't agree with this. They say because if we say the wording has been gone, we don't have them anymore, that means we are acting on something without proof. Yes, and that is true. Now if they give example about, for example, the الشيخ والشيخة إذا زنيا, the old man and old woman, if they commit adultery, then stone them to death. This ayah is not what made, is not what we use to stone someone if he commits adultery. This is not the ayah that we use. Well, they have hadith in Muslim which is weak, where the Prophet said al-bikru bil-bikr wal-thayyibu bil-thayyib. That's mean the virgin for the virgin and the non-virgin for no-virgin. And then for no-virgin he said that they should be flogged 100 and then stoned to death. That hadith is the hadith of Al-Hasan from Hattan ibn Abdullah al-Riqashi. And Al-Hasan al-Basri is Mudallis. And the known of his narration, he mentioned that he heard this hadith himself. That's what I know of. But we have hadith, like hadith of Abu Huraira in Bukhari and Muslim, where the Prophet ordered Unais to go to that woman who committed zina, where two men came fighting, and as one of them said to Allah, Prophet, judge between us according to the book of Allah. My son was working for this man and he committed fornication with his wife. So the Prophet said, for your son is jaldu mi'ah, he will be flogged for 100 and then sent into exile for a year. And go Unais to this to the wife of this man. If she pleaded guilty, then stone her. Yeah, so that is one hadith. And there is many hadith, a few hadith regarding stoning the adulterer. So we don't take it from that abrogated ayah actually. That's what I meant to say. That's what I want to say. So there is nothing that is, the wording have gone and the hukm is still. Okay, the hukm is still, the ayat has gone and the hukm is still with another ayah probably, or with another hadith. So we have proof for it. It's not just like this.
You know the hadith about a rajam?
Yes.
Can you explain that one?
Yeah, that hadith that I mentioned, that the Umar ibn Khattab said, I am afraid that people will come a time when then people, I almost have added this ayah to the book of Allah, and we have read it with the Prophet, that the old man and the old woman, if they commit adultery, then no, this hadith is sahih. The other hadith is weak. This hadith is sahih, that this was Quran.
Okay.
Yeah, the other hadith which says khudu anni, take from me, the virgin for the virgin, or the no virgin, no the virgin.
It's in the same part in Muslim, in the same chapter.
That hadith is in the book of Hudud. Yeah. So that hadith is narrated by Muslim, and the hadith of Hasan Basri, where he didn't mention anywhere that he heard this hadith. And Hasan Basri is a big mudallis. But I say that there is other hadith that instead of this hadith, of this one, where the Prophet has ordered for the virgin to be, for the virgin is in the Quran, that he should be flogged 100. And it's in the Sunnah that he should be sent into exile. And for the rajm is in the Sunnah as well. That someone who has committed adultery and is not a virgin, married, then he should be he should be stoned to death. So this is the second part of it. The third part is the third kind of abrogation.
Sorry, but if Umar bin Khattab said it's been taken out,
yeah,
doesn't all of it get taken out with the Sunnah one that you?
Why? He mentioned an ayah and said this ayah is abrogated. Why the hadith that doesn't it probably know why will it be taken? He is mentioning an ayah, and he said this ayah was an ayah, and then it has been taken away.
Yeah.
Why are we going to take now the whole religion away for this reason? That is a different hadith. Why are we going to say this has been abrogated?
They don't specifically been abrogated, but there's another evidence which hasn't been abrogated where we take off the ruling from.
Okay, but isn't alright? But doesn't when the verse goes out, the hukm goes out.
Not necessarily. That hukm may come in a different hadith or a different ayat. It doesn't necessarily mean it can be. You have places in the Quran where rules come, things may come twice. But just because in this situation Allah chose for it to go, it doesn't necessitate that the hukm will not come somewhere else.
So, we don't say that this hadith has abrogated that ayah. It's possibly the hadith. There is nobody can say that this hadith, the hadith were after the ayah or before the ayah. So you can't just make that decision that that ayah has been abrogated with hadith. So this is the second kind of abrogation. The third kind of abrogation is when the ayah is still in Quran. The wording are still in Quran, but the wording are still in Quran, but the hukm is gone away. We read it, we don't do anything with it. Just read it. You get reward for reading it, and you get reward for disobeying it, because you are not supposed to obey it. That is abrogation. When we say abrogation, because some of people who speaks about usul al-fiqh sometimes refer to abrogation to what we call Taqsis or istithna. Istithna, when Allah say وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ, and those who are to their chastity protected. إِلَّا عَلَى أَزْوَاجِهِمْ, except for their wives or their husbands or their wives, because أو ما ملكت أيمانهم, except for their wives or what their right hand possess. Here they say this is abrogation. It's one verse. Some people choose to call it abrogation. That is not an abrogation. He say he has forbidden everything and except so he has abrogated the wives, or that is not abrogation. That is called تخصيص, استثناء, exception. And تخصيص, another way of تخصيص, in Arabic they have two different names, but in English I can't give you two different names. I will have to use the same name because I don't know the other name that I can use here. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ, don't marry or don't have nikah with the mushrikat until they believe. And then in another place he say that the women of the people of the book are lawful to you. Some people call this abrogation. It isn't. The majority don't. So this is just like making an exception. And an ayah in the Quran, as long as it is used, it can be used, it's not called abrogated. It's abrogated when it can't be used totally. At all, it can't be used. What is it? Is not right anymore to do or to believe. You just read it. That will make it abrogated. And this kind of abrogation doesn't exist in Quran, contrary to the majority. Who said this? Ubay ibn Ka'b, the Sahabi, used to believe this. Abu Muslim al-Asfahani and Al-Fakhr al-Razi, two of the Mufassirin of Quran. And this is the right opinion. That in the Quran that we have today, every ayah is not abrogated. Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, a lot of people say, you know that verse in Surat Al-Baqarah, when the disbelievers mock you, say salam.
Yes.
go, that's abrogated, that was Mecca and all.
Who said when? No. Now to.
So, yeah, toilets.
Yeah. Carry on.
Yes, I will. If you want, you can stop it a little bit, then I don't know how to stop it. I just had a call, I don't know who it's from. Yes, so that kind of abrogation doesn't exist in the Quran. Every ayah in the Quran is what we call muhkam. Muhkam is the opposite of Mansukh.
Oh, Mansukh.
Yeah, because abrogation is Naskh. Abrogated is Mansukh. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to his book and said, Kitabun uhkimat ayatuh. The ayat of this book has been made muhkam. And then there is an ayah in Quran. Now, muhkam in Quran have different meaning. It means not mutashabih. It's clear. Not mutashabih. Mutashabih is an ayah that might have a lot of different understanding. And the Prophet has warned us against those who follow the mutashabih. In the Quran, we have the Quran muhkam, and we have some mutashabih. That Allah. When it comes to the opposite of mutashabih, Quran has muhkam and has mutashabih. But Allah described his book as being muhkam. And the other meaning of muhkam is the opposite of mufassal. It means like speaks in details in general. And somewhere, somehow, sometime, and then Allah, He will make it. He speaks in details. أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت.
Sorry, muhkam is in details.
No, muhkam is the opposite of details.
Okay. Muhkam is general.
And then muhkam is also the opposite of mansukh.
Okay.
The opposite of abrogated.
Yeah.
Now, if someone says there is an ayah in Quran that is abrogated, he must bring details of proof. He must say, of course, he will say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, مَا نَنْسَخْ مِنْ آيَةٍ أَوْ نُنْسِهَا. We don't abrogate an ayah or make it. That is a different kind of abrogation. Now, the Quran being muhkam altogether, the Quran being muhkam altogether is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ. We have not sent before you a prophet or a messenger إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. Except when he wishes, the shaitan will throw in his wish. فَيَنْسَخُ اللَّهُ مَا يُلْقِي الشَّيْطَانُ. Then Allah will abrogate what shaitan has thrown. ثُمَّ يُحْكِمُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ. And then Allah will make his ayat muhkam. So muhkam is the opposite of abrogation. And Allah has called his book to be a muhkam. Now, this book that came muhkam to us from the Prophet, who can say, point into an ayah and say this is abrogated? Except him. But he never did. We don't have any ayah in Quran, any, doesn't exist, where the Prophet said this ayah is abrogated. It has been abrogated by Ibn Abbas sometime, by Ibn Umar, Salam ibn al-Akwa', by Umar ibn al-Khattab, by Zayd ibn Thabit, even by Tabi'een, by Shafi'i, by Abu Hanifa. But never, we don't have any hadith where the Prophet pointed to an ayah which is today in our book and said this ayah is abrogated. So this Quran that the Prophet has brought to us, read it to us, when he read to people and say, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا جاءكم المؤمنات or كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم, he is telling them, Allah told you this, obey it. And someone later say, this have been abrogated. Who told you? You can't make sense of it because there is another ayah that contradicts it? Other people can. And you will find ayah where Ibn Abbas, for example, Ibn Umar say this ayah is abrogated. Ibn Abbas say no. You will find some ayah where Ibn Umar will say this ayah is abrogated. Abu Hurairah will say no. And yes, and that is where that's what we don't accept. And if you look at the Quran, if you look at every single ayah that they said is abrogated, either someone will have answered it from them, amongst them, or there is an answer for it. What?
Is there a certain number that they have, that 20 or 30 abrogated, supposedly abrogated?
No, it's they are different. There are. They don't have a number, but you say approximately different in a different way of looking at Quran. It will be around 50 ayah, where they say this is abrogated. Now, if we take Quran, because without looking at the Quran, I will not be able to. In English, we can give. Do you have any ayah in your that you know is abrogated? You can look at that book.
Yeah, there's one that they say about taking the jizya.
Yes.
I think it's in Surat Al-Tawbah.
Yeah.
Where they say it's been
abrogated.
It's been abrogated.
By?
For example, they're saying that the people in the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, the Abyssinians, leave them alone.
Yeah.
And then they say that's been abrogated now because there's a verse in Surah Al-Tawbah that says that you can't, something to do with the mushrikeen. You have to take jizya from.
Yeah, Abyssinians, the Prophet never said leave the Abyssinians. He said leave the Turk as long as they leave you.
Oh, okay, leave the Turk as long as they leave you.
Yeah.
And they're saying, no, that's been abrogated now because there's a verse in Surah Al-Tawbah that says,
قاتلوا الذين لا يؤمنون بالله ولا باليوم الآخر ولا يحرمون ما حرم الله ورسوله. Fight those who fight in the sake of those who don't believe in Allah and His Prophet. Yes, those who don't believe in Allah and the hereafter, and don't make haram what Allah and His Prophet made haram, and they don't follow the right religion until they give the jizya.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the verse of the sword or something.
The
verse of the sword, Ayatul Sayf.
Yes.
The one where it says
the ayat of the Sayf. Okay. Yeah. There is an ayah in Surat Al-Baqarah. There is an ayah in Surat Al-Baqarah. There is an ayah in Surat Al-Baqarah which some people say it's abrogated. The ayah قاتلوا في سبيل الله وقاتلوا في سبيل الله الذين يقاتلونكم, and fight in the sake of Allah those who fight you. ولا تعتدوا, and don't transgress. إن الله لا يحب المعتدين. Indeed, Allah don't like those who transgress.
Yeah.
We say this ayah is abrogated by the ayah which is in Surat Al-Tawbah. At the end of Surat Tawbah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا قاتلوا الذين يلونكم من الكفار وليجدوا فيكم غلظة. O you who believe, fight the unbelievers who are near to you, and let them find harshness in you, and know that Allah is with those who fear Him. So they say this is ayah to save. Fight those who are next to you without condition, whether they fight you or they don't fight you. While the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah says, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ, and fight in the sake or in the cause of Allah those who fight you.
I think it goes back to what you said earlier about the misunderstanding of exception here.
No, it's not a question of exceptions. First, fight in the cause of Allah those who fight you, but do not transgress limits. For Allah love not transgressors.
Okay.
They say this has been abrogated by all you who believe, fight the unbelievers who are near to you, and let them find harshness in you, and know that Allah is with those who fear Him. Now let's apply what we have learned before. He might not agree with it because we have not discussed it yet. But let me fight in the cause of Allah those who fight you. Does it mean don't fight those who don't fight you?
No.
Doesn't say that.
No.
It's مفهوم مخالف. Yeah, so it didn't say, Allah say fight in the sake of Allah those who fight you. Did He say don't fight those who don't fight you? He just fight those who fight you. Okay. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, but do not transgress. Does anyone say that now Allah told us transgress? Allah says in Hadith, إِنِّي حَرَّمْتُ الظُّلْمَ عَلَى نَفْسِي, I have made transgressing, dhulm, forbidden on myself, so don't transgress. And Allah doesn't love the transgressors. Does it mean that Allah today, if this ayah abrogation, if this ayah, what will abrogate this ayah? This will how it will be abrogated. Do not fight in the sake of Allah those who fight you. And transgress the limits. Because Allah loves those who transgress the limits. This will abrogate this ayah.
It's true. It's very true, yeah.
And I don't think that anybody will agree with any part of what I have said now.
Yeah.
Huh? You see, let me take it from another way now. Let's take it from the other way. The وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ, fight in the sake of Allah those who fight you, not those who don't fight you. Okay. This is what some people will like to understand it. You see, if I go to a Muslim, can I transgress against a Muslim? Can I fight against a Muslim without him fighting against me?
No.
What if I go to a Muslim and tell him, give me the sadaqah, the zakat that Allah has made it obligation on you? And he says no. And he says no. Can I fight him? The leader of Muslims,
Yes.
I'm not, but as someone is the leader who make these decisions all the time, he will fight them, the kafirs. And if the leader of the Muslims were to go to a Muslim and say, give me zakat, and the Muslims say, I won't. Who started the fight here?
The one who didn't give the zakat.
The one who started.
He transgressed.
So when the Muslims go to a kafir and say, you have the choice, you can become a Muslim, you can give jizya. But he refuses. Who started the fight here? He started. He is living somewhere that doesn't belong to him, and the owner of that place is ordering him to pay. He refuses. He started fight. So he is the transgressor here. And this ayah has not been abrogated at all. And this is not agreed by everybody that this ayah is abrogated. Any other example?
I think we should just deal with some of the harder ones.
Well, don't deal with the harder ones or not. If there is anything that you don't know,
okay,
then fine, you can open that book if you want.
No, I've got. There was some. The only ayah that I was thinking about just to understand a bit more here, but I went over it because I read the summary of 10 of them. I'll give it to you, inshallah. about the, if there's a certain ratio between 100 or 1 to 2,
Yeah.
and then from things like that. I want to just understand it a little better.
Okay. Now that ayah says, Surat Al-Anfal, yeah? الآن خفف الله عنكم وعلم أن فيكم ضعفا. Let me find the translation. وقاتلوا. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يا أيها النبي حرض المؤمنين. O Prophet, rouse the believers to the fight. If there are 20 amongst you, patient and persevering, they will vanquish 200. If 100, they will vanquish 1,000 of the unbelievers. For these are people without understanding. For these are people without understanding. Yeah? For these are people without understanding. الآن خفف الله عنكم. Now, for the present, Allah hath lightened your burden, for He knoweth that there is a weak spot in you. But even so, if there are 100 of you, patient and persevering, they will vanquish 200. And if 1,000, they will vanquish 2,000. With the leave of Allah, for Allah is with those who patiently persevere. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, what has been abrogated here? What has been abrogated? That Muslims should not fight if they are the double of their numbers, more than the double of their numbers. This ayah doesn't say fight if there is the double or don't fight. Look at it. O Prophet, rouse the believers to the fight. If there are 20 amongst you patient and persevering, they will vanquish 200. If 100 will vanquish 1,000. Does it say if you are 100 fight, if you are not, don't fight? It just says if 100 they will vanquish 1,000. This has been abrogated at the time of the Prophet, at the time of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, at the time of Umar, when Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas was the leader of the army. 10,000 vanquished 100,000. The Qadisiyah battle, 10,000 Muslims overcome 100,000. If it has been abrogated, this is a khabar. It just says how many can overcome how many. Yeah? And we have seen that. We have the ayah that presumably has been abrogated, 1 for 10. After the death of the Prophet, we have seen 10,000 winning a battle against 100,000. That was the Qadisiyah battle. Known, with clear isnad, sahih. Everybody agrees about that. That the battle of Qadisiyah, Muslims were very, very outnumbered. They still have won. So, it's khabar. Khabar can't be abrogated. And they have won. It has happened. What Allah said here, His promise has been fulfilled. Even after the death of the Prophet, we can't tell me it has been abrogated after that. And tell me, if someone tells you this ayah means that you can't fight, that Muslims can't fight, this second ayah, which make 2 for 1, according to them, not 10 for 1. So if Kafirs attack Muslims and there are many, so the Muslims can run away and probably even change their religion or whatever. This is nowhere to be found. The ayah is clear. إِذَا لَقِيتُمُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا زَحْفًا فَلَا تُوَلُّهُمُ الْأَدْبَارِ. If you meet the Kafirs moving towards you, then don't give them your back. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran in another ayah, which is not abrogated. وَكَمْ مِنْ فِئَةٍ قَلِيلَةٍ غَلَبَتْ فِئَةً كَثِيرَةً بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. How many small number of people, how many small group have overcome a big فئة كبيرة كثيرة with the help of Allah. So this is not abrogated at all. And yeah, so
if I ask, for example, not with an example now, but I'm saying, you see, whenever we look at ayat, because we're trying to extrapolate rules here and how to look at.
Yeah.
So if we don't have someone present who can do it for us, we have to have certain rules. When we look at an ayat like this, where people say they're abrogated, do we look at like mafhum, mukhalif?
You have to look at all from the all side. Yeah. Here, this ayah, it doesn't say anything that. I give you an example. You see, if even for those who say this ayah have given permission to 10 people to run away from 100. What if these 10 people, they say this ayah, first ayah, second ayah has given us this permission. What if 100 Muslims who say an ayah will be abrogated if it's there for barakah? You read it, but you don't use it. If you use it with the following ayah that came after, that means it's not abrogated. Even if it was an order, obligation, and then it was from obligation downgraded, the obligation will be made just mustahab, a good practice. It's still not abrogated. Because you are still obeying that ayah. You don't have to, but you still get reward for acting on it. So that is not an obligation. Not every order in Quran is obligation.
Okay.
So this ayah here, I give you an example. You see, if 100 of Muslims with tanks, aeroplanes, atomic bombs, very strong, every one of them gym and against 3,000 with swords, old man, do they have the right to run?
No. According to them, they have the right to run.
Yes.
It's true.
What about this the example? Because a lot of people will always come up. You know the one about the Sabians and the thing. This will always come
إن
up.
الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والنصارى والصابئين من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Those who believe, we have to understand here, this is something that people call Mansukh, but it isn't. The majority, not the majority, everybody who understands about Naskh understand that this is Mansukh. You see the ayah that says to the Prophet, "O Prophet, fear Allah." Or the ayah that tells the wife prophets, the prophet wives, that لَسْتُنَّ كَأَحَدٍ مِنَ النِّسَاءِ, you are not like any other woman. Is this ayah abrogated? It's not abrogated. Is anyone acting on this ayat today? The Prophet is dead, and his wives are dead. We don't call this abrogation because the person who is supposed to act on this ayat are dead. But the ayah is still there. If he was still alive, he's still. You understand?
Yeah.
He will have to. So that way, nobody calls this abrogation. Death of people is not abrogation. So, if we say إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا, إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والصابئين والنصارى من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. those who believe and those who follow the Jewish. No. Let me just translate it the way I understand it.
Okay.
Those who believe, وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا, and the Jewish, and the Christian, and the Scythians. This is what the ayah says. Any who believe in Allah and the last day, and work righteousness, shall have the reward with their Lord on them. Shall be no fear, nor shall be grief. Okay. What are the conditions for those who believe, for the Christian, and those and the Jewish and the Scythian? The condition that any who believe in Allah, that is a condition that they believe in Allah, and the last day, they have to believe in the last day, and work righteousness. Yeah. If any of these was told there is a prophet called Muhammad and he reject him, will this called righteousness?
No.
So it's a condition that they work righteousness. So if they have not heard of Muhammad, if someone was believing in Musa or Isa, and he was shown the Torah or the Injil, the scripture, and he believed in them, never heard of the prophet, this is a believer. Anytime. As soon as he is told there is a prophet called Muhammad and he rejects him, he have rejected even his own prophet. He is not Christian anymore. He is not the follower of Jesus. And he is not righteous. This person is not he has not fulfilled this condition. But if he follow this, when he hears about the prophet, if he has not heard of him any time, then yes, he will have his reward with his Lord. And there is no grief for him, there is no fear for him to the day of judgment. If any of these people, you see these Jehovah Witnesses, they believe in Allah as Allah. Well, they disbelieve in him according to us because they disbelieve in Muhammad. Those who make difference between Allah and His Prophet and they believe in some and they reject some are kafirs. But let's say someone has found the book of the Jehovah people with the scripture. He believes exactly that Allah, Isa is not the son of Allah, he is the prophet of Allah. And he acts on the Torah or the Injil, the Gospel. But these Jehovah people never told him. They told him this, but never told him about Islam. And he was muwahhid. I accept anything that comes from Allah. But he never heard about Muhammad. This person is a Muslim. The condition, the Prophet said, if anyone hears of me from Jewish or Christian and then doesn't believe in me, he will go to hellfire.
So hearing has to be in a certain way, it can't speak Muhammad.
If someone has been, now the majority say it is ijma', according to Ibn Hazm, say whoever hears the name of Muhammad, whether he has been told that this Muhammad is a liar, a rapist, a gangster, a thief, he said he still have to believe in him. We ask him, this person who is, and what Ibn Hazm says in his book, he said, whoever doesn't believe in this, he is a kafir, and whoever doesn't make him a kafir is a kafir. You understand? That is like, this is the way, okay, you have to accept what I'm saying or you are gone. Now we ask Ibn Hazm. We ask Ibn Hazm a question. Do you say the person who is describing this Muhammad, the liar, the thief, the murderer, the rapist, do you say that he is describing our Prophet? If you say that then you are the kafir. If you don't say that, then this person never heard of Muhammad, our prophet. He heard of someone else. There are so many Muhammad Sadis, for example, of Morocco. A kafir. You understand? So he must have heard of one of these kafirs, not the prophet. So we don't say that he is a kafir in this case.
You see, with these examples of abrogation, supposed abrogation, like you point out Abu Muslim Asfahani and Fakharazi. How many of these do they address, and what examples do they not address?
When they addressed all of the examples, whether you agree with them or not, sometimes I don't agree, for example, with some of the ways they address these things. And yes, that's why many people rejected their argument.
So can you give me some, if you have time, a few of the ones that were very weak in their way of argumentation, that you feel that there's better answers for them?
Why do you ask this question? Anyway?
No, because the thing is...
I mean, I don't want to go through all the...
No, you don't have to go through all of them, but if you know that, for example, they cover like a large portion of these, so if, for example, someone in Arabic, he can go into this himself.
Let him just do that.
I'm doing this for your sake.
No.
Okay, so once you have heard them, then it's finished, yeah.
Not all of them.
Let him, if he has anything,
let him
to talk about it. Anyway, because it's I think it's late for today.
Yeah.
And so if you have, I think if you have to go slowly through it, because I think you are tired, and if there is anything that you don't understand it, I can next time explain more what I said, because I was just talking quickly today. Yeah.
You see, there's a question I've heard some people say the kafir. They say if Allah's attributes are all perfect, meaning His justice, His knowledge, everything, and His mercy, then if Allah forgives a person who has done a sin, and Allah is eternal, and this transgression against Allah is eternal, how can He, by just forgiving the person, not jeopardize His justice? I mean, if His justice has to be balanced with His mercy, He's now giving more to His mercy than His justice.
Who said this? Who is kind of philosophers are talking? Allah, we don't discuss Allah attributes. Balance. Who said that He has to balance something, or He has to do something, or we don't talk this rubbish. We don't discuss Allah. We discuss. We try to understand His ahkam. These kind of discussions are not allowed. How Allah how His justice is done, or He is not to be asked what He does. No questions. And this is how we discuss it with the kafirs. We are not going to become half kafir to make the kafirs come to religion. No, we don't discuss that way. Anyway, so you don't have any ayah that you think it is abrogated, or we have finished.
The laptop, the woman who should be.
If you don't know it, I will discuss it. But if you do, that's fine. You don't ask questions that you know.
Yeah, I don't. He knows it, but I don't know. He's
no, he doesn't. Just yeah.
Do you want me to turn it off?
We have finished. But
this is a good.
Okay.
Knowledge,
No. Okay. What is it that you think is abrogated, or?
Okay. There's from what he's saying, I'm thinking he's reminding me. There's a verse that says, "Lock them up in their houses until they die."
Yeah.
And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a revelation. Said, "We've got something better now."
Yes.
Until something better.
خذوا عني.
Yeah.
قد جعل الله لهن سبيلا. take from me, Allah has made a way for them. Now this hadith is the hadith that is in Muslim.
Okay.
From Ubadah ibn Samit, the hadith of Hassan al-Basri. Hassan al-Basri is mudallis and he never... And the ayah, the way you read it, if you read that ayah and you read the following ayah, you will see that the first ayah speaks about women. وَاللَّاتِي يَأْتِينَ الْفَاحِشَةَ. And those, allati is used for women. 2 or more. 3 or more. وَاللَّاتِ, group of women. يأتين الفاحشة من نسائكم. Commit the fahisha, the shameful act amongst your women. فاستشهدوا عليهن 4 منكم. Then take 4 witnesses amongst you as witnesses against them. فإن شهدوا, if they testify against them, فأمسكوهن في البيوت, then lock them up in their houses. حتى يتوفاهن الموت, until they die. أو يجعل الله لهن سبيلا. Now fahisha, what is it fahisha? Fahisha, shameful act, is not only zina. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَذَرُوا ظَاهِرَ الْإِثْمِ وَبَاطِنَهُ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْسِبُونَ الْإِثْمَ قُلْ إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ رَبِّيَ الْفَوَاحِشَ مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا وَمَا بَطَنَ. My Lord has forbidden the fawahish, the hidden and the apparent. So it's not only one fahisha. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referring to the people of Lut, saying, أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مَا سَبَقَكُمْ بِهَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. You commit the fahisha. Nobody has done it previously. Nobody before you have done this fahisha. You understand? A woman having a relation with a woman, sexual relation. You know these lesbians? That is fahisha. This woman should be stoned to death. There is no proof for that. Woman with a woman is not called zina. What do you do with them? When we go to the Quran say lock them in the house until they die, or probably they will get cured from their disease. That is the other sabil. And then they want to marry a man. Or there is another thing. Fahisha is zina as well. If a woman comes to you as a judge and tells you, I have committed adultery, yeah? Or maybe not, she didn't come to you. People brought her to you. 4 witnesses that this woman has committed adultery. You want to stone her to death now, but it has been found that she is pregnant. Are you going to kill her and kill an innocent child? Okay. Are you going to tell her, okay, just leave, continue what you are doing these 9 months, go in the street, seduce more men until for 9 months, or probably not more, maybe less than 9 months, until you have given birth? And then after she has given birth, you will tell her, okay, because this baby needs breastfeeding, just go in the street and carry on what you are doing? Or you think she should be locked up? Because this is a woman that has been, people has testified against her. She didn't come to you. And it looks like she is not a good woman. So if you would say, I'm going to lock her up, I will say, which proof? What is your proof? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, فَإِن تَابُوا وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا الزَّكَاةَ فَخَلُّوا سَبِيلَهُمْ. If they believe, وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا الزَّكَاةَ, and then they pray and they give zakah, free their way. So you're going to tell me, I am going to disbelieve in the ayah, make it abrogated, and then come to the ayah that forbid me from doing anything against them, and reject it, and use my own brain, say this woman will have to go to prison. Because everybody will tell you she have to go to prison. The ayah is there. Why don't you use it? You disbelieve in it, and then you do then you go and you disbelieve in the other ayah, which says, we say, free their way, except for those that Allah has said don't free their way, and this is one case here. Huh? Because many people will say things that are in the Quran, they will abrogate Quran and Hadith, and then they will do the same what Quran says, but from their heads. Any other ayah?
So did you understand that?
Yeah.
So if she then was an orphan and her child grows up and is no one to look after the child, it keeps on going on. So basically her life...
The child will be an orphan if she has committed zina.
Oh yeah, it will be, but in the sense that if she has no father, the child has no guardian.
You can't force anybody to look after the children of others.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. You can't force anybody. Even it's her responsibility. You can't tell her father.
Yeah.
If her father say no, if her father
Disown her.
if her father own the word,
yeah,
and can get this child the best life possible, he still doesn't have to look after the child. It's not his business.
You get it on here?
Mm.
That one's the hardest one.
Huh? If someone says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلْيَحْكُمْ أَهْلُ الْإِنْجِيلِ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ. Let the people of the gospel judge with what Allah has revealed in it. This is an ayah abrogated, according to them. Because they say we are not supposed to judge. This ayah was revealed to the Prophet in Surat Al-Ma'idah, amongst the last surah that the Prophet saw, Surat Al-Ma'idah. It's not even in the beginning at Mecca to say, oh, this is at the beginning before the Sharia was complete. So how does Allah say, let the people of the gospel judge with what Allah has revealed in it, in the gospel? Anyone judging with the gospel will find that Allah said in the gospel, there will be a prophet called Muhammad. When he comes, follow him. And that is judging with the gospel. So if he follows him, that's fine. He has the gospel say Muhammad will come, follow him, forget it, forget the gospel. Follow what he says. So that is judging with the gospel. It has not been abrogated.
So whether the parts of the Bible are tampered with or not, there's still parts that Allah preserved to...
Yes. How can I stop this?